Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Great to have you with me here again today. Looking forward to getting into the second part of our house calls today. Yesterday, we answered so many different questions to the community about digestive issues while flying. We spoke about nausea upon eating any foods. We talked about using specific enzymes with cysts in the body or the breasts. We spoke about different types of detoxification with sauna or Epsom salt baths. Spoke about where to find great health practitioners. Talked about a degenerative-based bone disease. So many great questions. I hope you're able to tune into that. That was episode 1135. So just go over to stephencabral.com/1135. And today will be episode 1136. So if you're following along with the questions and any links that you may need for today's show, head on over to stephencabral.com/1136. You will find all of those links, all of those questions in full right over there. Just a quick update. We are answering questions from 1/8, 1/9, and 1/10 today. So January 8th through January 10th. If you wrote in during that time, your questions are being answered. If you wrote in after that time, your questions coming on an upcoming podcast. So let's dive into our questions. If I'm talking less, that means we have more time for our community's questions. So let's get right into it. Natalie is up first. I've been looking all over to find where to post questions for the podcast. Can I please send here? I've had light vaginal bleeding for 17 days now. My last period was 2 weeks before this, and it was the lightest I've ever had, and it only lasted for 2 days. I'm suspecting a hormonal imbalance and attempting to find a natural medicine practitioner in my area. Any idea what it may be so that I can get a heads up on this? Not a miscarriage, not on birth control, athletic and healthy, no medical history, yet I've had chronic sinusitis for almost 3 months now. All right, great question. Happy to help. So if this is a serious medical condition, meaning I know it says light vaginal bleeding and it's most likely related to your menstrual cycle, so I get it. I understand that. But for anybody, if you have a serious medical condition, I want you to seek serious medical help, meaning I want you to go find a practitioner right away, and I don't want you to wait for me to give you my recommendation, me pointing you in the right direction. I'll still do that, but seek medical help right away. I always want to let you know that. Or me answering questions on the weekend is a service that I love to provide, but I don't want you to look at it as me trying to diagnose disease, curing anything, or treating anything. I'm giving recommendations and information based on 250,000 client appointments that we've done with some of the most research out there. But this is just me reading a question and me thinking of what may be going on. Keep in mind, in our practice, the minimum amount of time we spend with someone is about 3 hours. It's an hour initial intake. It's an hour reviewing their labs and giving them a wellness plan. And then there's a little bit of email, and then there's a follow-up another month later. So, just keep in mind, there's a lot that goes into this. Anybody that has a real condition, it's tough. Unless you're running a lab and you can get a recommendation and a personalized wellness plan for you, you have to understand is that everyone's trying to do their best, but the more data you have, the better. That's all I'm trying to say. So Natalie, what would I do in your condition? Well, I would run the thyroid adrenal hormone, or at least the adrenal hormone, during the days when you're having the most symptoms. And chronic sinusitis is a red flag for candida issues. It really is. Or some type of digestive issue. It could be bloating. It could be overall gas. So meaning IBS-based conditions, which typically stems from either parasites, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, candida, or H. pylori, or a multitude of them. So that's what I'm recommending. There's no doubt in my mind that this is most likely some type of estrogen to progesterone imbalance, because your body right now does not know when to have a menstrual cycle. And that can be caused by stress, high cortisol, low thyroid, again, a multitude of issues. you would run the thyroid adrenal hormone to find out the hormone imbalances. Then you would run the organic acids test and any other labs you would like to figure out if there's digestive issues that could be causing this inflammation and sinusitis. That's where I would start. That is absolutely what I would do. All of these labs are available at equilibriumnutrition.com, and they do come with my review, and they do come with a call with one of my health coaches, and they do come with a personalized wellness plan. And then you can do follow-ups from there if you choose to. It's always up to you. If you're looking for a practitioner in your local area, do let them know you're suspecting estrogen dominance or some type of estrogen progesterone issue, because estrogen's most dominant in the first 14 days and progesterone should be the most dominant in the last 14 days, the luteal phase. So I've done many podcasts on this. Natalie, I hope you've checked them out before, but just type in how to fix your female hormones, best foods for female hormones. Just type in at stephencabral.com/podcast. Literally just type in female hormones, type in seed cycling, and you'll get so much, I think, pertinent information for you. Okay. And by the way, Natalie, this is very easily fixable. So don't think that this is going to be very challenging. You'll be able to fix this, no doubt about it. Okay. Dre is up next. Thank you so much for your generosity. I've learned so much about my health and how to get well from your podcast, lab tests, and protocols. My question is a general one. So many of us have suffered from disease symptoms for long periods of time. How do we know whether to stick with the plan or if we should try something different? Sometimes symptoms seem to come and go, and it's hard to evaluate where there is overall improvement. Do you recommend a way to keep track while working through a protocol? Maybe a journal. What helped you keep motivated through your healing process? How did you self-monitor your symptoms? You've said that 3 to 6 months is typical. Is the progression towards health usually linear, or are there ups and downs? It requires faith to stick through a long journey to health, and I truly appreciate the encouragement you offer by saying you absolutely can get well. You need to become your own investigator. These words keep me going. Thank you. Dre, I really appreciate you writing in. This is a great question, and I don't know why it's never come up before. So let me spend a little bit of time on it. And you know what? I think I might dictate a future whole podcast to this. So I do say 3 to 6 months. And the reason is that, let's say it's an energy-based issue. Let's say, like with Natalie previously, it's a menstrual cycle-based issue. It's going to take 2 to 3 months to really revamp that menstrual cycle, minimum, right? And for new mitochondria, you're going to have to wait about 3 to 4 months, 12 to 16 weeks. There's nothing you can do about that because you need to wait for the cells to turn over. You also need to wait for another 4 weeks for a new menstrual cycle, right? So it's like we can't speed up nature. We honestly can't. However, you should start to gradually get better. Now, most people feel a tremendous improvement with digestive issues, with weight issues, with joint pain issues, with any type of inflammatory issue when doing the 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox, because it provides an elimination diet. It provides a rebalancing of blood sugar, of inflammation, of elimination of food sensitivities. So that we see tremendous right away, and a lot of times in the CBO protocol as well with digestion. Now, for longer, people with myalgic encephalomyelitis, ME, Addison's disease, like true deep levels of fatigue and a wearing down of the body, it takes a little bit of time. And for those people that I work with, I like to let them know, be like, listen, you've seen a dozen other people besides myself and my team. I don't want to say we want to get you a quick fix, because there's no quick fix to it. I wish it was that easy, right? I wish, right? But at the same time, you learn so much from going through the process. So I always tell my ME people I work with, we're going to get you better 10% each month. And nobody wants to hear that the first time. Nobody. And I say, if this isn't right for you, I get it. But here's what happens. We've worked with so many people. We can give you a surge of energy by giving you this, and this supplement. But the problem is you think you're better, and then you go and you use up all that energy, and you're right back where you started. And we see that all the time. And we don't fault people for it. Listen, we've been there. Myself, my practitioners, we've all had our own health issues. We've overcome them. So we don't get upset at people. We just understand this is part of the journey. And then we say, now let's take it from the top. But the nice thing is this, you get your life back, even 10% per month. In 5 months, you're halfway. You feel phenomenal because you're already 50% better. And at 10 months, you're like, how is this possible? So that's how we look at it. Most people, though, will get better in about 12 weeks, maximum. That's it. How do I know if something's working? Well, so this is a great question. For people that are really sick, You don't want to go by symptoms alone because just like you said, Dre, is that some days are good, some days are bad, and you can't figure it out. And honestly, you just can sometimes. You can't. You ate the same foods at the same time. Today you don't feel well. Tomorrow you will feel well. Well, what gives? Well, part of it's the healing process. Part of it's your body working through things. Some of it might be a little bit more stress the day before, but the food was the same. There are different levels to this, okay? A knowledgeable practitioner will understand this as well, and they'll walk you through this. So what I can tell you is this, though. 12 to 16 weeks, there's no doubt about it, you should see gradual improvement or much, much better improvement. I wish I knew what you were suffering from, and then I could tell you kind of more of a timeline that I've seen. But some people feel phenomenally better in 10 days. And again, it's simply because they were deficient in so many things, and we just gave them the nutritional supplements to replace those deficiencies. And they're back on their feet. Now, again, are they better? No. You're going to refill those stores over 12 to 16 weeks, and then we'll start to wean slowly to see if the symptoms come back. We don't just stop cold turkey. What else can I tell you? Okay, when you are and you have a true dis-ease of the body, and Dre, I really like this, and I need to make this into a podcast because I wish everybody listened to the weekend house calls, and it's unfortunate. Not as many people listen to the weekend house calls, and they should, because they don't always think that all the questions apply to them, but they always do. And in a roundabout kind of way, you can always bring it into your life in the future, current or past, or a friend, family member that needs this advice. So I'm going to do this for everyone, but I can tell you this. When in doubt, all you ever do. So I have like 2 hard cases right now that I'm working on. I work with a lot of people, but they're not typically that difficult. They're difficult for the people because they've never been through it before. But I've already been through it. I've already seen it. I know what to do. And I know they're going to get well. But 2 people are mystery, the mystery cases. We're like, okay, what's going on? Why isn't this person responding? Well, we just always say, we're going to figure it out. Because there's only so many things it can be. Honestly, there's only so many things it can be. So we just simply work the process. Okay, so what do we do if we don't see someone responding as well as we'd like? We go back to lab tests. We need to make sure that there are no more deficiencies and no more toxicities. If we've done that, the body now has everything it needs in order to repair. That's what we need to do first. After that, now we need to look for it. It has everything it needs. There's no deficiencies. There's no more toxicities. Now let's look for hidden things. Let's look for more subtle things, right? Let's look for mold toxicity. Let's look at dental-based issues. Let's look at some other deeper heavy metal or viral-based issues. So we'll look at that, right? But it's not our first go-to. So Dre, I'm going to go on and on for 20 minutes on this topic and really teach people kind of work their way through it as a detective. But I appreciate you bringing that up. And you know what? I never pause. The podcast just goes straight through. So I'm just going to put this in my notes right here. And I'm going to write Dre question on working the process. And we'll either make it a Monday, Motivation and Mindset Monday, or a Total Wellness Tuesday. All right. Thanks again. Let's move on to the next question. Patricia writes in, I have the 7-day detox. Can you add organic cocoa powder to the shakes? Patricia, as long as you do not have a chocolate sensitivity, then yes, you may do that. Typically, and no histamine issues, no allergies, then yes. We now have our own chocolate daily nutritional support shake, and you can actually order the chocolate detox now. To say that people love it would be an understatement, which I thought it was great. I loved it. Family loved it. My girls like the chocolate. I don't give them chocolate every day, especially my youngest daughter, because it's like she craves it so much. I'm like, all right, we need to be careful here. But people love it. They really do. And so I was blown away by the response, to say the least, to be able to get an all-in-one shake that contains every vitamin you need, all the minerals you need, the electrolytes, things like sulforaphane, things that have been proven to help with detoxification, plus 15 grams of hypoallergenic protein. We're talking a non-GMO, organic, hypoallergenic, like the cleanest shake that you can get with everything that you need for the day, and it tastes good. So I think it's a home run. And we love it, and it's without a doubt, obviously, one of our best sellers in the community. Okay, Patricia's up next. I'm assuming it's the same Patricia because it's about a detox. There are about 7 of us that have started your 7-day detox at the same time on Monday. Everyone is posting their weight loss. Some people at 6 pounds, some people at 5 pounds, etc. I, though, have only lost a pound. I am looking to lose 8 to 10 pounds. Why am I not losing any more weight? Also, is the first 2 days supposed to get you into ketosis? Great questions. So I've answered this, and I've actually done a whole podcast on this before. So, well, let's answer your ketosis question first. It's not meant to get you into ketosis, but some people will get into ketosis because if you're not exercising and you're just living a normal day and you ate carbohydrates before the detox, most people it will take 2 to 3 days to get into ketosis. Our shake-based fast lasts 2.5 days. So maybe towards the end of the second day, again, if you're not exercising, about 90 minutes of exercise can deplete someone's liver glycogen stores. Again, it's intense exercise. Not everyone, but some people. And yeah, so it's possible. Again, we don't try to do that, but it's possible. And then you come back out of it on day 3. So you don't have to worry about that. And let's talk about the weight loss. Yes, most people lose somewhere between 5 and 7 pounds on our 7-day detox. Now, those are for the people looking to lose weight because I do the detox. Many people do the detox not looking to lose weight. I might lose a couple pounds, but I just gain it back after the detox on purpose. I gain it back. A lot of people looking to lose weight and they keep it off. That's the way that it's meant to be. It's meant to get you back to a healthy weight. That's the whole point. So most people lose between 5 and 7 pounds. Some people have lost 10 pounds. They obviously have more inflammation, more to lose. So why didn't you lose as much weight? Well, it doesn't happen often. And we tell people, this is it. If you don't lose weight on this detox, which is clinically proven to work, it works on blood sugar, hormones, inflammation, calories, like all across the board. It works. Now, if it doesn't, that is exactly a dead giveaway that there's something deeper going in the body, usually to do with hormones. So Patricia, hands down, if I could only make one recommendation, I'm not going to confuse you with multiple recommendations. I'm going to give you one. Run the thyroid adrenal hormone test. I couldn't be more adamant about that. And again, you can run it with anybody in the world, but that's a lab test that we offer. You can do it right at home. And again, keep in mind, if I recommend a lab, we don't own any of the labs. They're all outside labs. Never in my life will I be the one owning a lab, a laboratory, and running labs for people. Definitely not. That's not what I do. But we recommend a great lab for the thyroid adrenal hormones. I can't recommend it enough. It will give you the answers that you're looking for as to why, what's going on with your thyroid, what's going on with the adrenals, what's going on with your estrogen progesterone levels, what's going on with vitamin D. I mean, it used to be called the weight loss test. For those of you who are back around when the Cabral concept was happening, before episode like 400, it was called the weight loss test. But it has so much more to do than just weight loss. It looks at your thyroid adrenal hormones, vitamin D, insulin, hemoglobin A1C, a multitude of things. It is hands down the absolute best test in the world to look at metabolism, right? So check that out. Okay. TEE is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. You're amazing. I'm so thankful and grateful for your phenomenal podcast, jam-packed full of outstanding knowledge. T, thank you. I love hearing that. You can go on. So I recently ordered your mycotoxin testing kit. I would like to know how mycophenolic acid can enter the body. Supplements or treatments to detox and any other information you could provide to explain mycophenolic acid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So T, here's the great thing about ordering a lab through Equilibrium Nutrition is that you actually get to speak with one of our health coaches. So you'll get all of this information for you. But since you wrote in, I'm happy to answer it for you. Now, by the way, you wrote in on January 9th. So it's what, March 16th right now? Is it March 16th? I'm trying to look at, I'm recording this on Friday. You're listening to it on Sunday if you listen to the day that it comes out. So it's the 17th. It is St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day and you're listening to this on the 17th. So pretty sure it's St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. So you've already spoken with the health coach and I've already reviewed your lab. But I'm going to give you it for people who don't know what mycophenolic acid is. And mycophenolic acid is actually used as an immunosuppressant drug for suppressing the immune system. Well, here's the crazy thing. You asked, how does it enter your body? Well, it doesn't. That's the crazy thing about mycophenolic acid. Yes, you can use it as an immunosuppressant drug, but it comes from mold. It comes from penicillin. Now, mycophenolic acid doesn't come from penicillin, but the mold produces this acid, this waste, in order to essentially short circuit the immune system so that your immune system doesn't go after mycophenolic acid. So it's very toxic to the nervous system and immune system. The good news is this. We recommend doing the 21-day detox. I recommend doing the Candida bacterial overgrowth protocol because people that have mold issues typically have Candida issues as well. So we get rid of that. And then we finish it with the mold-based protocol. It works great. It helps clean out that body. Saunas will help as well, T. Doing the detox, the fasting helps. I can't recommend enough. It works great. So check that out, okay? Thanks for writing in, T. And that's the crazy thing is that the acid, the waste, does not enter your body. It's actually produced by the mold itself, which is that. I mean, that's how crazy mold is. For those of you who don't know anything about mold, can't recommend going to stevencabral.com/podcast and doing a search for my mold-based podcast. You can type in mold protocol and you'll certainly find it. Check that out. It's that important, okay? Mold is very highly underlooked. Let's do one more question, and it's from Hannah. Hannah writes in, night sweats. Why do they happen? I've had my hormones tested, and they're normal. They tend to happen when my cycle is coming, but that's not always the case. They're also random. Hannah, thank you for writing in, and I appreciate your brevity. So, and just joking, I like to have a little fun. These are serious topics. Okay, 8 out of 10 times, night sweats are from an estrogen to progesterone imbalance. You've had your hormone tested, but who says they're normal, right? Like your PCP, and again, I'm not picking on PCPs, but okay, they're within range, but are they within ratio? It's not about if things are high or low all the time. It's about if they're balanced. Honestly, the systems of your body are about balance. Calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, zinc and copper, estrogen, progesterone. It's about balance. That's what it's about. So you have to run the test when you're having symptoms. That's one. The second is that we recommend the saliva-based test. That's number 2. Again, it's the thyroid adrenal hormone. And the other is this. So again, 8 out of 10 times it has to do with the estrogen progesterone-based imbalance. What else could cause night sweats? High cortisol can cause night sweats. A drop in low blood sugar, which causes high cortisol, can cause night sweats. What else could cause it? Poor detox could cause night sweats. Your body's trying to detox as well. What else could cause it? Parasites. 8 out of 10 times, estrogen, progesterone. Can have a little bit to do with testosterone in there, but really estrogen, progesterone. One time or so, higher levels of cortisol, and the testosterone could be a part of that. And then one other time will be parasites. So how do you test all of them? You run the thyroid adrenal hormone, and you run it when you're having some symptoms. Typically, it's going to happen, like you just said, with your cycle. So you'll run it when you have the symptoms. I like to run it for women around days 19 or 20 of a woman's cycle, and with the first day, day 1 being day 1 of menstruation. And then I would run the stool test, and that will rule out everything. So the stool test will test the parasites. The thyroid adrenal hormone will test estrogen, progesterone. It will test testosterone, and it will test cortisol as well as low thyroid, which can have a little to do with it, but very sporadic. So Hannah, if you came in our practice, that's exactly what I would tell you. Okay. And then from there, we could give you the things that you need in order to get the body balanced. Of course, you can use estrogen balance. You can use adrenal soothe at night. You can use deep sleep protocol at night. But I would rather you test, not guess, figure out exactly what it is, and then you'll have your answer. So thanks so much. Hopefully this gives you a little insight into how we practice, how we make recommendations. And if it was helpful, like I always say, please do feel free to pass this information along to anyone else you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.